welcome to my podcast, Spiritually Speaking with Liz. Today I'm really excited to be in the presence of my lovely angel lady, as I call her, the lovely Anne Ellis. I met Anne when she came into the shop with her fabulous oracle cards and angel cards, which I'll tell you about shortly. Welcome, Anne.
Thank you. Lovely to be here.
And it's lovely to have you here. So Anne is an author of a book. She's a creator of 3 oracle decks and 1 tarot deck, all angels obviously. She has a YouTube channel, an Etsy shop, and a Facebook and Instagram page, which I will leave all the details of those in the show notes. So thank you for being with me. I'm really excited to have you here because we've known one another a while now,
We
haven't
have.
And I always see you as my angel expert because I'll be honest, I don't know an awful lot about angels really. I know the main few, but I don't know who to call in for what.
Yes.
So anyway, before we get into all that, so who was Anne Ellis in her previous life before the angels came a-knocking?
My previous life, very family focused. Years ago I used to work in a bank. That's what I did when I left school. And for me, I mean, I loved it then. Perhaps I wouldn't love it so much now, but what that gave me was practice communicating. And I loved it. Meeting people, that's my thing. Talking to people, listening to people, helping people. That ticked so many boxes, and that's what I did. And then family life comes along, getting married, 2 gorgeous girls, focused on those completely, loving every minute. And then they came and I found angels, and what a transformation. So going back to how it started in 1999, we were moving house. We were actually moving here to the cottage where we're talking now, just before Christmas. Don't do it just before Christmas, moving house with 2 children, 6 and 3. But that's how it happened. And at that time, I was very anxious and stressed, that you can imagine. Lots going on. So we moved here just before Christmas. And we thought, right, now we can settle down. And I was making tea. And I was listening to the Radio 2, drive time it was then, with Johnny Walker. And he said, I want you all to listen up. I'm going to interview a lady called Diana Cooper, and she's written a book called A Little Light on Angels. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I'm busy stirring this bolognese. So I turned down the heat on the cooker, turned up the radio, and I listened to this interview with this lady, and I thought, oh, and she was saying, just ask for help. It's there. Be open to receiving it. All you have to do is listen. You have this backup team. And I'm thinking, if I could do with anything right now, it's a backup team, and an angel one as well. And that's how it started. Yeah. So I bought her book and I read her book, and I thought, I immediately resonated with it.
Did you feel that spellbound fit when you were listening to her?
Yes.
That first, when he said, and here's Diana Cooper, did you feel like that spellbound, like time stops and it's just, this is just for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And all the time I think, oh, I could do that. Oh, I could do that. I could try that. And it was like all these ideas suddenly coming in. So that was the start of it, that little tiny book. And then, of course, I thought, well, there must be some other books as well. And I was like a little Hoover. Any book, anything on angels, anything connected with angels. It was just, I had this quest for knowledge. And I loved it. Reading all these books, this was my downtime. It sort of ticked more than one box because it actually got me to sit still and be quiet and read a book as well. So there was more than one benefit to this. And then gradually, as I got more, I'm saying into this, but I enjoyed this more and more, the very first angel card decks started to be published, and Diana Cooper brought her own out.
Right, was she one of the first?
She was one of the first ones.
Okay.
So, of course, I bought the little angel cards, and I used to think, oh, I need some inspiration today. What can you tell me today? Simple little questions like that. And it was, there were the answers. All I had to do was ask.
Right.
And so moving on however many years, 20 years, that sounds like a long time, doesn't it? Here I am, never thinking, because I always looked and thought, oh, all those lovely people, they're doing that. Never thinking that I would.
Be one of them. Yeah, I get that.
And now I do just that for myself, and it's just happened. Yes, it has. Things have happened that, oh yes, right, take the next step. And now here we are with 3 oracle decks, and last year an angel tarot deck.
Amazing. But it's not, people think that it happens overnight. You hear overnight success, and it never is it? You know, we've been banging this drum for forever. And I have to just say, as a little caveat, I met you through my sister.
Yes.
My sister's Wagtail Designs, and she's an illustrator. And you'd drawn your cards, hadn't you?
Yeah.
And Kate helped you format the first deck, is that right?
Yes.
Into how they would look and...
Mini mindfulness. She was the one that gave me the idea to make the deck.
Ah.
And I can remember we were having a cup of coffee together, and I was talking about some other cards at the time that I was perhaps going to make.
Mm-hmm. Oracle or ordinary cards?
These were sort of a mindfulness deck that weren't particularly angel orientated. It was just like a reminder deck.
Were these based on your another thing that when I first met Anne, you had those little sayings on the printout because you worked at the school at that point, didn't you?
That's right.
And then I got Anne's permission. David sent me the PDF, didn't he? The Excel file, whatever it is. And I used to print them off, cut them up, and I had a big glass bowl on the desk, didn't I? And when people came in, they could take one. And people loved those.
The little box of loveliness.
Yes,
I'm glad you reminded me. Yes.
I changed it to the little bowl of loveliness. Yes. But you know, I've forgotten about that.
That's how it started. Because when the girls were growing up and a little bit more independent, I then worked in secondary school as a receptionist. Again, what am I doing? I'm talking to people. I'm meeting people. I'm helping people, and I'm loving it. And of course, at school, you can't have sweets on a reception desk. You know, some reception desks have a little sweet or something. It's simply not allowed to do that. So I thought, right, well, I'll have a little box. I got this little box together and filled it full of positive quotes, lovely things. You've got this, you can do this, keep trying, don't give up, put a smile on your face, all this sort of thing. And I just had it in front of me on the reception desk at school, and it would empty so fast. And people used to go, oh, before I talk to you, can I have one of these for today?
Was that the pupils, the visitors?
It was
staff?
Mainly for the visitors,
right,
but of course the staff, anybody could walk past and just take one out. And getting back to Kate, I had the basis then, some little angel drawings that I'd done. And she said, why don't you make your own deck? And I was just quiet for a minute and thought, why don't I do my own deck? I never thought about it. So a little angel picture then went for every little saying, and I've got the mini mindfulness deck, and Kate helped me put that together, and it's the sweetest one.
It's cute. Yeah.
And then I thought, yes, because people can have a deck of 44 cards and refer to that every day and get a different card every day.
Just say the significance of 44 for anybody that doesn't know.
44, I deliberately chose 44. It's an angel number. It's a very strong connection to the angels. So if ever you see 44, or you see it on a car number plate, or you live at number 44, yeah, very strong connection to the angels.
I always say angels calling whenever I see 44. If somebody says that, it just jumps out at me.
Yeah.
So isn't it funny how people... It just shows you the wheels within wheels.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? That how my sister...
Yes.
Then inspired you to do something that was already there but you'd not thought about. So she was just that little...
Yeah, that catalyst.
Yeah.
It's like the pieces of the jigsaw were all laid out.
It's just putting them
But
together.
I hadn't necessarily put them all together.
It's like that. One of my favourite... It was like a little... it's more than a saying, like a paragraph that I used to read sometimes in yoga, and it's called Reason, Season or Lifetime, and it talks about how people come into your life for a reason. Some people come into your life for a season and then they disappear once you've learned whatever you need to learn, or some people are in for a lifetime. And I love that. And so Kate was a reason, wasn't she?
She was.
She
Yeah.
popped in there. And...
Absolutely. And that was the start of the angel card project that I'm still doing now, all these years later.
Isn't it fab?
Yeah, yeah. Because I took her a copy of my little book when I went to have a coffee with her. And she was looking, so you've got to do something with this.
Yeah,
and I remember saying, my sister's...
Isn't it? I know, isn't it? When I come over ringing me, you'll never guess what I've been talking
fantastic.
to somebody about angels. I'm like, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've not long had the shop open. I think I'd only been open maybe a year, if that.
If that, yes, you would.
Because I was still in the little shop then, wasn't I?
Yes, you were. Yeah.
Okay, so back to the angels before we go off on another tangent. So how would somebody call in the angels? What would they do?
This was one of the most amazing things when I was listening to Diana Cooper, because I don't know how I would have imagined you did it. It's simple. It's so simple. And in fact, it's almost, I won't say it's too simple, but it's so much easier than you think. Have a thought, ask them in your head, please can you help me with this? What can you tell me about this? What do I need to know? What do I need to learn? Write it down. Some people like to write things in little notebooks because that really helps as well, because it helps you formulate exactly what you want to ask.
And you've expressed it then.
And you've expressed it then. And sometimes writing it down makes it more specific. So write it down. So if you don't think it and ask in your thoughts, write it down. Speak it out loud. Again, that brings in some clarity. But just ask. It's the thing that came through to me from Diana Cooper originally was that these lovely guardian angels, archangels, this group of helpers are waiting. All we have to do is ask. And I think sometimes being an angel must be quite frustrating. And I'm sure mine, even now, go, just ask. You don't have to do it all yourself. You don't have to work it all out to the nth degree. Just ask.
So how would you get the response then? So let's say I'm thinking, I don't know, let's think of should I do this project or something? Then how would it, so then I'd say to the angels, okay angels, how do I do this project? Is this project right for me? Do I need to do anything to bring it into me? How then, once I've said it, written it down, how then do I receive the answer?
Right, so I would say, what can you tell me about this project? What do I need to know? Give me a sign if I'm on the right track. Show me if I'm on the right track with this.
Okay.
Because I think if you ask a question that's a bit too broad, like, what should I do? It's like, what colour shall I choose from the paint palette?
Yeah.
So,
I get you. Yeah.
So if you're a little bit more specific, show me the next step. Show me a sign that I'm on the right track. And then we come into the signs. So for me, I would say a white feather. That's
Do you get those a lot?
White feathers, yes, that's my thing. White feathers, butterflies, birds sometimes. Sometimes people will find a coin. Now, it depends what's sort of pertinent to you, really. But you could ask for, if you're on the right track, can you show me a coin? Would you do that? Some people might hear some lyrics on a song on the radio. They might overhear a conversation. All different ways. Some might see a sign. Some might hear a sign or the answer. Some might feel it and think, yeah, I feel good about that. Right, I'm loving it. It's making my soul sing.
That's the key, isn't it? It's making you feel it. You feel it either in your heart or in your solar plexus. That giddy, that light, butterfly. Here we go.
Yes, and you see, some people are more visual. Some people are more auditory. Some people are more kinesthetic. So, whatever your primary way of receiving information, that's how it'll come. So I'm very visual. The other day I was listening to your podcast about signs, and I thought, all right, that'll be interesting. So I asked a question, and I said to the angel, I was a bit naughty really, because I'm not here to test them, but I said, we usually have numbers for me, 44 or white feathers.
Yeah.
And I thought, I've never had a coin.
Did you
So this'll be good. So I've never had a coin. So I'll ask a question and that'll be fine. If you want to stick with a white feather, stick with it. But anyway. And then with anything, and this is something I really need to remind myself of all the time, when you've asked, you let it go.
Yes.
You have to surrender that.
You do.
Now, I am an absolute expert at asking for guidance, then go, right, okay, I'm listening. I'm still here.
Yeah, me too.
I'm looking out for signs. I'm
You're there.
still waiting. No, and in a lovely way, you know, not an impatient thing. But the quickest way to get a response is to ask and let it go and then go and do something else to get your mind off it. Because otherwise it's like handing over your little request on a bit of paper but not letting it go, so they can't take it out of your hand.
Yeah,
do you see what I mean? It's like not you're having that little tug of war between you and your lovely angel guidance. So getting back to the coin thing, so I was smiling away. I went and got on with my jobs for the day. In fact, I hadn't forgotten about it, but I'd got on and I was focused on something else. And I thought, oh, I need to do my social media. Pull a card. And I laughed because the card that came out was the Ace of Coins. And it has the biggest drawing of a coin in the middle of this card that's bright yellow. You couldn't fail. That's the focus of the card. It's the whole point, it's the whole message of the card. And out of the 78 cards,
you picked that one.
That one, I got me coin, thank you very much.
I think that's the thing though, like I was saying with mine, with the red balloon, is that you don't always, I expected to see a physical red balloon and I didn't. And it was printed on something, a picture like a cartoon, with the red balloon. So it isn't always they don't communicate, do they, in the way that we think they should. That's a bad word, isn't it? But it's frustrating, isn't it, at times. A teacher once told me that the left brain's the logical, isn't it?
Yes.
But the right brain sees in images and metaphors.
Yes.
Hence why we get things in the random ways that they come in, don't they, sometimes?
Yes.
But I love that. So you're physically expecting a coin.
Yes,
a penny.
I honestly, in my little mind, thought, I bet I'll find one on the floor somewhere. Or there'll be, when I go for my walk up the lane, I bet someone's dropped a coin somewhere. You know, my mind thought that was the logical thing to do, to find. And no, there it was on my desk.
It's brilliant, isn't it? That? When you say it's the signs relevant to the person, you know Michelle Knight?
Yes, I do, yes.
I love Michelle Knight.
Oh, yeah.
She's an amazing astrologer, isn't she? And tarot reader extraordinaire. But I read her, I think it was a blog or it might have been one of her Instagram posts, where she was on holiday on a beach and I think it was her partner picked up a bit of a tarot card. Who the hell finds bits of tarot? I mean, have you ever, like the lady that was telling me that she gets playing cards, I've never seen cards.
No.
And yet people find them, but for her, imagine that, a tarot card, a bit of a tarot card. I can't remember where.
On a beach.
I know, somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And it's just incredible, isn't it? For all the times the tide has come in, it's gone out, it's a bit of card, a bit of paper, it's light, it's been floating about.
She would recognise the tarot on it. Not everybody may do that. Yeah. Oh, quite often they'll make you laugh. Mm. There'll be something and I'll say, well, I didn't think of that one. That's a new one on me. I think and that's what's so lovely in light. Yeah. This is what really attracts me to working with angels and all this lovely energy that we've got available to us. Yeah.
It's the humour, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And,
there's a lovely saying, isn't there? The angels can fly only because they take themselves lightly.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I had that as one of the window quotes, I think. Once. I do. I love that. Okay, so I've asked you how to call in angels. So do you have any favourite angels? Are there, we hear of the archangels, and like I say, I can name maybe 5 or 6, 7, but I don't know a lot about them. You know, like when people say, calling whoever for when you've lost something? I'm not really, and Michael, of course, we know, but can you tell me, so maybe your top 5?
Yeah, I'll do the Magnificent Seven.
The Magnificent
Seven. Obviously, first and foremost, guardian angels. Mm-hmm. They're here with us all every day.
So that's our own personal
ones.
Yeah.
Now, they'll help with anything mm-hmm. at all. The archangels come in with a stronger energy and a more focused energy in a particular area.
Okay. So do we call them in specifically?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. And the lovely thing about this, because first when I started reading about archangels, I was thinking, oh, are they doing things far more important than answering my question? There's an awful lot going on in the world.
The fact that they're an archangel, not just angels.
And absolutely not, no.
Okay.
They're waiting to help. Here they are in this lovely pool of knowledge that we've got available to us. And they're waiting to be asked. So Michael, yes, we're talking about Michael. Uh-huh. Safety, protection, confidence, communication.
And he's the one with the sword, isn't he?
He's the one with the sword of light and leadership. A very, very strong energy. So this sword of light protecting, helping, guiding you and developing your leadership gifts to stand on your spotlight on the dance floor and say, this is me. Oh. To help you if you're going on a journey, anything like that.
So would you invoke, is that the right word? Would you invoke Archangel Michael, invite him? Or
I would simply ask him.
Okay.
Just like we're chatting here. This is the thing that came to me so beautifully. Simply ask him, Archangel Michael, please can you help me with this? Please would you do this? Ask them. And then the other thing as well, which we'll bring in now, always say thank you. Mm. We all love to be appreciated and thanked. Yeah. I just think at the end, thank you, I heard you. Thank you, I got the message.
Right, okay. Like that.
So that's Michael. Mm-hmm. His colour is cobalt blue. So think of this bright blue energy. If you're a visual, bring in that blue energy when you think of him. So the number 2 of the Magnificent Seven for me is Archangel Raphael. Emerald green, a really bright green. That's his colour or her colour. The actual aspect that Raphael specialises in is healing. So helping healers heal. Okay. Helping us if we need healing. Helping us to open our healing gifts. So simply just ask Archangel Raphael. Okay. Think of, if you're visual, visualise the colour green. So number 3, Archangel Gabriel. Now, I ask Archangel Gabriel and work with Archangel Gabriel quite a lot because I always visualise her as a she might not be, it might be he, but whatever, in my little mind, all aspects of communication. So that's my thing. Yes. If I'm not talking, if I'm not making podcasts or talking online. So this is about communication, developing writing skills, speaking, teaching. So very much a connection. I use Archangel Gabriel, ask her to come in quite a lot when I'm doing readings, when I'm talking. Here today, I've had a little word and said, my friend Lizzie's coming. Come and join us.
Have you noticed when I got here and we started, the builders were making a real racket?
Up the road,
and you said, didn't you? Anne sat really quietly and I heard a mutter, please angels, let this be quiet. And there was a little bit of the still saw at the beginning, but then
it's gone. Just for now. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So Archangel Gabriel, beautiful golden, coppery gold colour. Archangel 4, Archangel Uriel. Now this is an archangel I hadn't really heard about. I've done a little bit of sort of reading up about. Uriel is a golden yellow. Think of sunflower yellow. And a very soft energy, very much a gentle energy of just coming in and a little nudge, and rather than the forcefulness of Archangel Michael, this is a much gentler presence, a much gentler conversation, but nevertheless just as powerful.
So what would you call in Uriel for?
For clarity.
Okay.
When you're unsure about anything, understanding. gaining wisdom from a situation.
So it's like a step back and...
Yeah, a step back, think about it. What do I need to learn? What are you learning? So this one is understanding, gaining your inner wisdom, getting clarity on a situation.
Okay.
And passing on knowledge. You know, there's a lovely thing I say to people, you know, my degree is in hindsight. This is Archangel Uriel all over, because they will come in and say, yeah, now what did you learn from that?
Right.
Now help somebody else learn the same thing.
I love that. Mm-hmm.
So the Archangel of hindsight and sharing that. And then moving on to Archangel Haniel. Now I feel this as a very feminine energy. Very pale blue, moonlighty blue. Very strong energy at the full moon. Okay. Archangel Haniel. And this is all about intuition.
Right.
Learning, trusting it, developing spiritual gifts. So that's a very pale blue, very gentle intuition.
Well, that makes sense with the moon then as
yes,
well, doesn't it? With
absolutely.
Intuition.
Number 6. It sounds like the top 10, doesn't it? Number 6, Archangel Zadkiel, bright purple. Now, Zadkiel is about understanding and forgiveness. What do I need to learn? What's this person teaching me? Why is this person able to push my buttons? Okay. Why am I responding like that? So that will, Archangel Zadkiel will come in and say, well, maybe just look at yourself. Have you got a habit of doing this? You know, so inner knowledge, aspects of forgiveness and understanding yourself. Uh-huh. And also learning information, gathering information. Really good for anybody who has to absorb a lot of information for an exam or a test or an essay or whatever. So Zadkiel, learning knowledge. And finally, the 7th of the Magnificent 7, Archangel Shamuel, bright pink, peace, love, developing gifts for peaceful interactions with others. This is all about almost like a pink blanket with Shamuel enveloping everybody. If the world ever needed Archangel Shamuel, it's now. Yeah. To put this blanket of peace and understanding each other. It's very much empathetic energy. So also can help you find lost things. You know, you were saying as well. Okay. So you can ask Archangel Shamuel as well for that. So that's a quick rundown of the Magnificent 7. And, you know, don't be afraid to call in 2 or 3 at once if you need them. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so you can mix and match.
Yeah. The palette is there. The information is there. You just need to ask and, you know, say, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that?
Ask and it is given.
Ask and it is given. Yes, that's a good book.
Yeah, it is. Esther Hicks, thank you. Oh, well, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. I think we need to do another one.
Oh,
maybe
lovely.
Maybe with the cards and pulling some cards or something. I don't know. We'll think of something, but I think we've had such a lovely morning together that I think that we'll have something else on the cards.
On the cards, like it.
Okay, thank you for joining me.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you everybody for joining us today. If you want to get in touch, the email address is spirituallyspeaking222@gmail.com. Instagram spiritually_speaking_222. Facebook spiritually speaking 222. I'll put all Anne's details below of how you could contact her, as she does reading. She's on YouTube, Etsy, and so much more. Great chatting, and I'll speak to you next time. Thank you. Bye.